How's it going, everybody? I'm Matthew here, and in today's video I want to take some time and talk to you about something we're all going to have to be doing next year: filing for taxes. All right, now, how many of you are preparing already for taxes? This is something, it's unavoidable. It's unavoidable. We all pay taxes, unless of course you've set up like your business in like a tax haven like Bahamas, or Monaco is another tax haven. I think maybe somewhere in Dubai might be a tax haven. These are places where there's certain loopholes, and you don't actually, if you set up a residence there, you set up your business there, you don't actually pay any income tax. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother thing. I'm not there yet, so I can't talk about that. But let's talk about what you should be doing for the majority of people I have a feeling are going to be watching this video. Now, my standpoint, I'm going to be talking from the Canadian point of view. So most of my American followers, this is going to be kind of right up your alley. I'm pretty sure we have similar tax laws and things kind of work similar. Those of you overseas might be a little different. So, you know, take my advice with a grain of salt and just double check it with, you know, the certain tax laws, regulations, and all of that in your country. But the rule of thumb for this video is this: save 30% of every single dollar you earn for taxes come the end of the year. Now, why? When you're getting paid your royalties from, let it be Amazon, let it be whatever, you're not paying your government any taxes, okay? So you have to save money, because your government's gonna say, hey, you owe us a little bit of money because you've been earning this money, and it's not gonna be tax-free. Okay, so when I earn $1,000, I don't actually earn $1,000. I actually earn, as far as I'm concerned, I actually earn $700. Now, we're talking about not a corporation standpoint, we're talking about an individual, like most of you are probably set up in your business. This is from an individual standpoint. So I earn $1,000, but I actually really only earn $700, because I take 30%, $300, and I put that into a completely separate bank account that I do not have a card for or access to. And I just email it to that bank, and it sits in an account. And the only time I actually touch that account is I do deposits every month. But then at the end of the year, when the government's, all right, so you earned all this, your expenses were this, okay, this was your take-home money, you owe us X amount in taxes. Then I just go to that bank and I just take that money and I send it to the government and I pay that amount in taxes. What this avoids is this. This avoids you earning money, not paying any tax on it because you're not taxed yet, and the government saying, all right, you owe us this chunk of change, but now you haven't saved. You haven't saved for it, you haven't planned for it, and now you have no money to pay them. And so that doesn't look good, and they come after you. This is not it's not like not paying your cell phone bill, okay? And they'll go away, or a parking ticket. Government doesn't go away. They don't. The government has the power to, one, take over all of your bank accounts, any savings accounts that they have, any credit cards, line of credits, or anything. They can seize all of them, so you can't access to all of them, and they can max them out to take the money that they want. They can garnish your wages, meaning they can call your employer and say, so before you cut a check to whoever, you're going to cut us a check every single week for 50% of their earnings. Okay, don't ask me how I know these things, but it happens. So you want to make sure you're always being prepared ahead of time to pay your due in taxes. So the way I do it is, every month, I sit down when I do my income reports, right? You see those income reports every month, a lot more than just turning on the camera to do this. Go through it, all right, so business brought in all of this, right? Like, so let's say the business brought in 10 grand. All right, the very first thing I do after I tallied up how much was paid out that month, I go to my checking account where all the monies go into, and I take 3 grand, for example, 10 grand, I earned, I take 3 grand and I transfer it straight to this separate bank account. And it goes into, it's my tax savings account, basically. It's what I call it. And it just goes into a separate account. Every month, like freaking clockwork. All right? this is non-negotiable. Some months it sucks, like sucks, because like, you know, maybe the business didn't earn a ton, or usually it's like, you know, I drove up expenses, and, you know, so it's like, sometimes $3,000 is going out and I'm like, oh, I got $1,000 left to play with, or I don't know, probably wouldn't be that bad actually, but whatever. Bottom line is sometimes it sucks, but at the end of the year, when I'm gonna have to pay taxes, I don't stress, I don't worry about it, I don't care what the amount's gonna be, because I know chances are the business is just, my accountant's good enough that I'm not going to be paying 30% taxes. It's probably going to be closer to 22, 23, 24%. So what's going to happen at the end of the year, government's going to be like, all right, Emeka, you owe this amount of money. I just take the money from that account that I've been putting money into every single month. I just write them a check and send them. And then that little money that's left over, whatever it'll end up being, that I can use to fuel back into the business. Maybe I'll use it for investing. Maybe I'll use it for whatever. But, you know, that's kind of like, it would be my quote unquote refund. So this is something that I guess no matter what country you're in, the percentage that you're going to pay is going to be different. I do 30% just because I'd rather save more and have more left over than not to save enough and have not enough in the account to pay. Because here's the scenario for not doing this, okay? You go into your, so you don't save enough. Say you're only saving 10%, but then your tax rate says 20%. You're earning money, you're not saving enough for taxes, you owe money at the end for taxes, you don't have enough money to pay your taxes. Government's gonna like, will pay us. So now you're earning money in the new tax year, but the majority of that money you're going to pay back the government for the previous tax year. But guess what? All that money that you're earning in that year, you need to be saving for taxes for that year as well. And it's a spiral, and you don't want this spiral to start happening because it sucks. So save whatever you want. I'd say minimum save 20% off of your gross revenue, put it into a separate account for taxes. If you can do 30%, it's always better to do more, because you're just gonna have a little extra, a little nest egg at the end. It's kind of like forced savings for yourself. It's something you really can't avoid. It's called being responsible and being an adult. If you like driving to work on, well, I guess probably a lot of you work from home, but if you like driving around on nice, smooth roads, your taxes are paying for that. Those of you who might be complaining, oh, I don't want to pay for taxes, my government takes too much for taxes. Well, you probably have never actually lived in a third world country. I'm like down here in Mexico. Okay, people pay taxes here, and the government does dick all with it. Right? I drive on bumpy ass roads all the time. Half the traffic lights don't work, and you know, the police force is one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen in my life. But that's because they don't distribute their tax money properly, because the government's dumb. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother topic, right? Bottom line, you gotta pay taxes, do it responsible, stay ahead of the curve for this. Hey, if you have any questions on this, I'm happy to kind of help give you some direction. Of course, it's best, check with your local tax advisor, your accountant, whatever the case may be, to get the most updated advice for your specific scenario, as they're probably all going to be different. But hey, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will do my absolute best to help point you in the right direction. Until next time, everyone, take care.